Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, the comedy podcast in which we discuss weird news, pop culture, and being middle-aged dads. Yeah. We are bitter, cynical Gen Xers saddled with crippling debt and depressingly past our primes. But that's what makes this podcast so much fun.
Well, welcome to Dysfunctional Adults episode 2, you guys.
Season 2, episode 2.
Oh, season 2, episode 2, correct. Yes. That's right.
Hey, guys.
Yeah,
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Zach.
I'm John.
Hi, John.
and I'm Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
All right, nice to meet you guys.
Our timing is so screwed up because of this lag, or this.
The Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's silly.
Well, and I'm downloading like gigabytes of porn right now, so my connection is like jacked.
Oh man.
All right. Okay, good night. Now, what have you guys been up to? Zach?
Well, what have I been up to? I just had the worst dental experience of my damn life. It was, I look back at the dentist I used to have in Salt Lake City, and he was just amazing. And I had no idea. I didn't realize how pampered I was. I went to this new guy here in Albuquerque, and he acted like he didn't have time for anything, which there's a lot to the story that I'm not gonna share because it has to do with some of my personal life I don't want to share. But he takes his needle and he just I had like 5 cavities because I haven't been taking great care of my teeth recently.
Is he like laughing while he does it?
He might as well have been, yeah. And I honestly,
I could use some Novocaine, but screw you.
yeah. Well, he's just sticking the needle in without Novocaine. He's just like, there's no Novocaine in the needle. He's just
And he's like missing a couple times. He's like jamming your lip and your cheek and
and going, oh, oops,
your tongue and all that.
Yeah. But, no, I do question whether or not I actually have the cavities as well. There's this whole thing going on that it could quite possibly be a big deal, like actual insurance fraud. And I know that sounds like I'm like going a little overboard with this, but there's a lot of reasons why I think that. But anyway, so he tells me I have these cavities and that I need a crown on another tooth. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm going to get a second opinion on that. But I got the fillings done anyway. And he did them so fast that it really makes me wonder. It's like, really, did I have cavities though? Because I've had a lot of dental work in the past. But the whole reason this was awful was because of the needling that he was doing. It's called an IANB. And I don't know how to pronounce the first part, but it's a nerve block. And that's when they get it all the way in the back of your jaw there. And to numb basically all of this part of your face. And he just jabbing it. And like, you can feel him like turning the needle on the inside of my jaw he puts the needle in and then turns it, things like that. And I feel, it almost feels like I hear it because it's so close to my ear, but I feel like this ripping. And he did it on both sides multiple times. He did it like twice on each side. And he's like patting me on the shoulders, like, yeah, I know it hurts. But I mean, like I'm swearing and stuff. And he knows he's causing me pain. And I've had more extensive work done on my face or on my face. Oh, well, that too. But on my teeth in the past with my other dentist. And not once did I ever have pain that lasted for 3 and 4 days in this part of my jaw. And I still think it hurts.
I think he's getting off on it while he's hurting you. Like you look over and you can tell he's got like an erection or something while he's doing it.
That is awful. And I think maybe there was no Novocaine because he just used it all on himself. Just like his hands are all floppy, he's trying to like that's why he kept sticking you. He had it like
I hope you got
Novocaine.
I hope you got like a whole handful of lollipops.
No.
Like on your way out, you just reach into the basket, take all of them and say, I deserve all of these and just walk off.
Nah, this is the kind of place they don't even hire hygienists because it keeps their overhead low. I'm not joking. He did the hygienist part himself using a descaling tool rather than, you know how they go in and they use the manual tools to get all the tartar and all that, all the buildup out.
Yeah.
That's what the hygienists do. They don't have a hygienist at these kinds of places. So he comes in with this, I don't know if it's a high vibration tool or what, but it makes this high pitched sound almost worse than the drill and puts it on all the bottom parts or the part where the teeth meet the gum and they descale all that shit. And it hurt on the spots where I wasn't numb. He's like, this is going to hurt for a minute. And I'm like, of course it is. Everything else did. So why not this too? Anyway, yeah, it was an awful experience. And so that's what I've been doing. I haven't been able to enjoy much since then. I've been really upset about it.
Your teeth look great though.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Can't even tell that I chew every day like an entire tin of Grizzly mint. No, I don't know. I don't chew. I'm just kidding.
Just gravel. You're just chewing gravel.
Can't
Just
even
to
tell.
spite the dentist.
Yeah.
Take that.
What have you been up to? You two at the same time. Just say it.
Let's just do it at the same time. And 1, 2, 3. Selling drugs.
Pornography.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knew.
Right.
I don't know. I'll go next because John usually has like a good story.
Man, no pressure. Now if it's just like mediocre, it's like, man, I'm so disappointed in you.
We talk about this when you're not here, John. We both rely on you to carry us through the show. So we make sure that you usually the last person to talk because you have the funniest thing to say. And then we just kind of are off in the shadows and nobody really pays attention.
Well, like we talked about last week off the air, like if I'm the heart of the podcast, Zach is the soul of the podcast, Jason's the genitals of the podcast.
Sad thing is I'll take it. That's I'm happy with my role.
You're like the shriveled, non-functional testicles of dysfunctional adults.
Wow, whoa. At least give me some function, Let's say that I'm I may not be young, but I'm not old. But well, speaking of old, I'm old and it's every day I wake up and I'm a little bit more achier than the last days. So but what have I been up to this week? So on Friday we went to see a play called Into the Woods. I'm sure you're familiar with the movie. But this is the play and the movie's based on. And we did it at the U. And it's really kind of funny because when you're at the U, and I'm not trying to, to bring politics into it, but it feels like COVID never ended. Everybody's wearing a face mask, except for me, the big fat guy from Grantsville. Not from, but who lives. And so it was really kind of awkward. Like everybody there was clearly from a different culture than I was, and which is fine. So second, I'm also fat as well as old, and so we find our theater, and it's one of those little black box theaters. So it's not like a big theater; it's just like a little section of the building. Basically, just a small black room, and the chairs, the seats, they do not fit me. They're like airline chairs, and so I'm squishing my fat ass into this chair, and then we notice down at the front they have like regular like table chairs that someone just set up. So we went down and sat there. So I was like right on the front row with the action, and I've almost like I could have tripped the actors. That's how close I was because there was no stage.
Tripped the actors.
There was no stage. But anyway, did you guys know that musicals they just sing everything? Like what the hell? Like
right in the middle of a song. What the hell? Why is everyone singing all of a sudden? It's like some flash mob.
And another thing too is so they're all made up of like U of U students, and
I didn't know there'd be singing in the sound of music.
But like they're all U of U students, and for some reason the director decided Into the Woods takes place in a fantasy fairy tale medieval world, but everybody was dressed like they were going to a rave in this version. And I just hate like the whole like I'm gonna be different creative mentality, and I'm gonna dress everybody up in like weird, like the Jack kid looked like a skater bum. He's like the main character. And this is gonna, oh man. So the main character is the baker, the other main character, and apparently it's James Corden in the movie, so that kind of gives you an idea of what it's supposed to look like. They cast some Chinese kid. Okay, I know it sounds like old school, but no joke, he sounded like the kid from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
A short round.
Short round, Indy, I love you, and I'm like, I couldn't understand him, and it just wasn't working. So, of course, I'm not really a devotee of the theater, really. So I'm just I was like the conservative redneck, like, what the hell is this? Take off your masks. Why is the Asian kid and I'm like that. So that's also how I'm old. But that's what I was up to. Also almost got in a car accident. Didn't. Which
I
was
told
good.
you I was sorry. Okay.
Well, you can't say it enough. But so there you go. There's my angry old man quasi racist rant. So
Nice.
and for the record, I'm technically a person of color, so that makes it okay for me to be racist.
You can insult all other
I've
people of
ever
color,
known.
even ones that are not the same culture as you.
Right, exactly.
That's the way it
Did you say
works,
I'm
right?
the whitest person of color you've ever met.
Like, not in the, not on your skin color necessarily, just
Just my way I talk, act,
Just like-
live my life, vote.
uh,
Yeah, you're not wrong. So, anyway, that was good fun.
All right. Good stuff.
John, what have you been doing?
yeah.
Well, last weekend I took my kids to Kangaroo Zoo,
I've been there.
which if you don't know about, Zach looks confused. It's not an actual zoo with Australian marsupials hopping all
No.
around.
It's a core.
It's a tramp. It's a tramp park, and not the kind that is fun.
Oh,
It's a
The
bouncy house,
trailer park.
okay.
a bouncy house playground type thing where they have the giant bouncy houses all over. And like Jason said, it reminded me very quickly that I am an old, crippled old man. Like, you wouldn't think like simply jumping would cause that much pain or wear you out that fast, but it does. It is exhausting to try and keep up with a 12-year-old and 2 9-year-olds, even just jumping up on in a bouncy house.
Yep.
So of course on their way out, I have to hand all my kids scissors so they can pop all the houses on their way out. And we laugh as they shrink and collapse on all the other kids having birthday parties. Because if you can't fully enjoy something yourself, the best thing you can do is ruin it for everyone else.
Why not?
Absolutely.
The only way.
The American way.
And this place also it's got arcade games. And it has like, the basketball shooting one, like the skee ball and all that. And you win tickets for racking up the points. You remember arcades like when you're a teenager and it takes like 20,000 tickets to get like one $10 stuffed animal.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of my kids was pretty good at the basketball and another one was really good at skee ball. Between us all, we racked up like 140 something tickets, which felt like a lot. But then we went to the counter to trade them all in. One of my sons got like a little rubber lizard that you could get like 25 cents in like a gumball machine. And the others just got like a small handful of like Tootsie Rolls. So 140 something points was literally worth about 75 cents of actual money.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys heard of that Fetch app?
Sounds
It's like an app you download where you can scan like any receipt you have and it will give you points to use toward prizes.
okay.
I don't know like the purpose of it, whether it was to help stimulate the economy when it went bad or whatever. But anyway, so for the last like 7 months, my wife and I have been saving every single receipt of anything we buy, and she scans them every single night. And I think she's got something like 12,000 points or something in the last 7 months. So she goes to trade them in, and 12,000 points is almost enough to get her a $10 Amazon gift card.
All
For
right.
7 months of saving every single receipt we bought, it's worth almost $10.
Wow.
So yeah, that reminds me of the arcade ticket system.
But
Well,
yay.
that ticket system is training you for what the economy is like when you're older. You work really hard, and then your money doesn't go very far. So it's really just a life lesson.
And
It is a
everything
life lesson.
priced as hell.
So yeah, that's the lesson I teach my kids.
Give
You're
up
really
and
good
die.
at something, work really hard at it. It won't get you shit, so don't bother.
So turn to a life of crime and sell crack.
Just like us. Just like dad, guys. Just like dad.
Exactly.
Crime does pay.
I took Charlie to a similar, it was the Chuck E. Cheese out here, because his cousin lives out here, my niece, and took him to a Chuck E. Cheese, and they do the same thing. Did they have the option there where you could make up for the missing points if your kids want something and you can pay cash in order to get that thing, but it's marked up by like 4,000% or something like that? So that little lizard you were talking about for 12 cents is like $6.
I don't know if they did or not, but I don't think I would have let my kids do that even if it was. Like you said, it's a dollar prize. They're going to charge $5 or $6 at least.
Highway robbery. So interesting fact I learned last night from my wife, who learns her facts from TikTok. So take it for what it is.
The truth.
You mentioned you mentioned Chuck E. Cheese. Do you know why there's no ball pits anymore at Chuck E. Cheese?
Ew, I'm sure there's a good
Probably the health reasons.
You're heading in the right direction, but I'm looking for a more specific answer.
Urine, snot.
Oh, sorry.
Jizz.
No.
Oh, how? They're children.
Well, it's not the kids, it's the staff. Horny teenagers is what the TikTok said. So they would find like used condoms in the ball pit. And then also there was a story about a woman whose kid was like in the jungle gym. It's like a toddler, and it came out with like a balloon in their mouth.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't want to live anymore.
Zach's like, that happened to me last week.
It was chewy.
No.
It's pretty gross. So that's something that will help keep you up at night if you're having a hard time sleeping. So there you go.
Great.
All right.
Thanks.
Although
you're welcome.
We can't unhear that now.
And I wanted to share it with the masses too.
I just want to say though that in an adult setting, a ball pit might be kind of fun. Throwing that out there.
Man, you'd have to hose that thing down like.
Well, let us know. I mean, you're building your little dungeon down there, so
I am. Yeah, it's gonna be
how much work it is.
Like it's an adult sex club, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I've got the swing, and that's basically it. So I basically just cut the chains off the swing of the park and brought it here because I really don't know how a sex swing works. Does anybody really know how it works? I don't.
No,
so,
actually.
Oh man,
it just sounds like a recipe for disaster and
at our age it sounds like injuries are going to happen from that.
Speaking of injuries, when you started telling your story, John, you'd mentioned being crippled, and I'd forgotten that you'd gotten hurt, and I haven't heard about that since. Are you still not doing all right?
I mean, it's getting better. I can run. It took me over a year to be able to run again.
Wow.
Was that from the ropes course?
Yeah, because for those who aren't aware, in July of 2022, on my anniversary trip with my wife, we were down in Bear Lake and we tried this like 4-story rope ninja course type thing. And she crushed it. I was really impressed. And so were all the 20-year-old college kids who worked there. But on like the second obstacle, it was like there were these panels like suspended by ropes, and you had to step between them. But when I stepped on it, they pushed far apart, and so I kind of like the splits the wrong way, and it felt like a cable snapped in the back of my leg. I swear I could hear it in addition to feeling it. It hurt like hell, but I had to hobble back across the 2 obstacles I already had done using just my arms.
Hey.
And it turned out I had torn my hamstring.
Why
so after like
ham in your pot or in what?
What's that?
No, I was
like
making a stupid
string
joke.
cheese, but it's ham.
Ham in your pocket, or it was dumb. Just don't listen to me.
But anyway, I had done physical therapy for a couple months after that. But then, even after the physical therapy, it had taken. I mean, I was able to walk and stuff just fine after that. But It's been like a full year and a half after that before I could finally start running again.
Wow, that's rough, man.
It was another reminder that I am way too old for that kind of shit. There's a
I'm
9-year
too old for this shit.
Exactly. Dubbin, what's his name? Danny Glover.
Clever.
Yeah. The 9-year age difference between my wife and I sometimes doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you try and do something like that, I was reminded very quickly that I cannot do this shit anymore.
Maybe that's what we need to call.
I'm not in my 20s or even my 30s. My body does not bend. You know what else I found out? That's another symptom of being old. Apparently, I am a lot. My fear of heights is a lot worse than I thought it was.
Yes.
Like when I'm up there on the fourth story, it's like 50 feet up in the air, and I'm looking down. You know, it's just, I'm hooked up, so you can't really fall. But as you try and like shimmy across these ropes 50 feet up in the air with nothing but like a little harness on, that was terrifying. That wouldn't have scared me 20 years ago. Like I used to do all the rides at Lagoon, and none of them affected me at all. But now the older I get, like the more I lose my nerve for stuff like that.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's our bodies just telling us like, slow down, bro. You could die really easily or what. But I feel you, man. Every year it gets worse. I used to rock climb and shit, and I can't do it anymore. I can't play a video game where they look over the cliff of something. It makes my legs go crazy. Like I get this feeling in my butt and in my legs, like I'm gonna fall right then and there. Doesn't matter what it is. Picture, movie, cartoon. It scares the shit out of me. It's stupid.
You better not try VR then. That I can do it for about 10 minutes, and then I get like a headache and I get like nauseous, and it sucks. Because that was like what we wanted when we were young gamers. Like that was the holy grail.
I know.
Like I can't wait till we have VR. Now I have VR. I'm like, I can't do this for more than 10 minutes.
Yep. That and video calls. Like that sounded so cool back in the day. And now I'm just like, no, don't even try that shit.
I don't want to turn my camera on.
Yeah. This is about as close as I get.
Yeah.
So I know it's not show and tell yet, but I did want to share something with you. And I think I might have sent it in the text, but I would also like to share it with our audience. And I know we can get the audio. I'm going to try something. This is an experiment. So if it doesn't work,
it's John's fault.
Oh, I can't do it because I'm not the host. So.
Loser. Well, you can't share your screen or whatever. What is it, through your computer?
Yeah, I wanted to share my screen.
You probably don't want to share your screen because of what you're looking at, but
I'll close those windows. So
we'll still see him up in the corner though.
Can I send you the link?
Sure.
And then can you try and
how are you going to send it?
In the chat right here.
Oh, there's a chat. It won't show in this. And we didn't record the video when you first got on where it showed it all in big letters across your screen. But John,
we were laughing. His actual last name, ladies and gentlemen, is Thunderdong.
Yeah. I mean, that's brave. That's really brave.
I mean, my parents mapped out my future when they gave me that name. I mean, how are they supposed to know? Yeah.
Aim high, son. Aim high. All right, Zach, I sent that link to you. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah.
Sesame Street characters and how I would cook and eat them. Big Bird. This 8'2" yellow nightmare is the size of a fully grown bull ostrich, which is why I would remove its loin, sear it, crust it in black peppercorn and juniper, and serve it with a huckleberry gastrique. Cookie Monster. Grass-fed cows taste like grass. Cookie-fed monsters taste like cookies. I would render all of Cookie Monster's fat out into lard, then add that to a sablé pastry dough, and then fill that with creme patissier. Oscar the Grouch. Pigs also live in their own filth, which is why I would simply remove Oscar's belly, sugar and salt cure it, smoke it, slice it thinly, sear it, and serve an Oscar the Grouch BLT. Oscar, you're a grouch. Elmo, the prized beast of the Sesame Street world. I would remove the Boston butt portion of Elmo's upper right haunch, then confit it, emulsify it with Elmo's fat and marrow to make Elmo torchon. I would serve with balsamic vinegar alongside crusty Jewish rye bread in honor of Larry David, its sworn enemy. Tell me what Sesame Street characters you would cook and eat and how.
And how.
So I didn't see it on the video stream, but that was awesome. We can put the link in the show notes. But But hilarious. So the reason I'm bringing this up now is I posted that in my Teams chat at work, and the first reaction I got was, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Anyway, I thought I'd share
That's great.
what brings me joy is the slaughtering of Sesame Street Muppets and the consuming of their flesh.
And
When he
go ahead.
when he asked which Sesame Street characters we would eat, is it wrong that my mind immediately went to the actual humans from that show? I'm thinking of like Gordon and Maria and all these ones. It's like
Which one do you think would be tastiest, honestly?
I haven't
The
seen the
Muppet
show
or
in
the people?
30 years. Or like Bert and Ernie, are they technically human?
I think they're Muppet. Muppet is a
They're
race.
Muppets, but they're humanoid Muppets, right?
Right.
Well, yeah, but
Is
to
it
me, they're
cannibalism to eat Ernie and Bert?
Oh, Bert eats Ernie all the time.
Oh, the rumors go.
They're just roommates, you guys.
Yeah, sure. So, what Muppet would I want them to eat? I think maybe Abby Cadabby.
I don't even know which one that is.
She's a newer pink magic Elmo-esque.
Oh.
I guess she's technically like 5, so that's really dark.
Well, so is Elmo, and that kid ate Elmo. Elmo's not
Yeah.
even 5, is he?
Elmo had it coming, so but he's been 5 for like 20 years, so
I think Snuffleupagus looks delicious.
Yeah, no, good call.
He could feed the whole family for Thanksgiving. I just want like his head like in the middle of the table,
and
then all the rest of us are just chowing down on like Snuffleupagus chops.
Well,
Do you
and
think
it's
he tastes
his
like
snout.
peanuts?
It's like the yeah, probably.
Go ahead, Zach. Sorry.
Oh no, just the snout. Like it's like the turkey neck. Not everybody likes it. It's like, who gets the snout? Oh, I want it. Yeah.
Oh, gross. John, do you have a Florida man update?
Yeah, actually.
Jazz. You gonna do that right?
News. So the weekly Florida Man update for February 22nd. This one came all the way from back in 2002. Florida man stabbed with swordfish in fistfight. A Florida fisherman was recovering today after being stabbed with the bill of a swordfish during a fight with another man, a sheriff's spokesperson said. Police arrested Frank Ashmus, 46, and Garth Spacek, 42, Thursday after the two fishermen allegedly started fighting near a dock in Madeira Beach, a small city on Florida's Gulf Coast. Police said that after Spacek hit Ashmus in the head with a beer bottle and left, Ashmus went to Spacek's apartment and stabbed him in the abdomen with a sharp, detached bill of a swordfish. We don't see this kind of thing very often, said Pinellas County Sheriff's spokeswoman, Mariana Pasha. Unsurprisingly, both men were drunk, according to police. And a second quick one. Florida man throws a toilet through school board building window in Illinois and is arrested sitting on another. Dave Tolliver, 36, is accused of carrying an old toilet to the government building and throwing it through the front glass of the building, the East St. Louis Police Department said. Officers responded to the scene were told that Tolliver then ran away after throwing the toilet. He was later discovered on the corner of 11th and Cleveland sitting on another old toilet and was arrested. That story shows that you can take the man out of Florida, but you can't take the Florida out of the man.
Was he sitting on the toilet, or is he crapping in it?
It just said he was sitting on it because it was on the corner of a street with another toilet that he'd taken from somewhere, apparently. He was like refueling, basically, reloading.
Wow.
That one is probably going to go through another window.
Well, not now. He's been arrested, hopefully.
That's his weapon of choice. This was from 2019.
In reference to your first one, though, you know what I always say is don't bring a fist to a swordfish fight.
Good advice.
Thanks.
For sure.
And that is Florida Man News. Back to you, Jason.
back to me.
I don't know.
Uh,
Can I complain about something real quick? I love complaining.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I was doing my taxes, and I love doing my taxes. So long story short, I qualified for the EIC, the Earned Income, well, the EITC, the Earned Income Tax Credit. It was $108. I did all my stuff, and I got to the end of my taxes, and I stopped because I had to check on one thing, and it took me about a week to check on that thing. But I stopped at that point where I was going to send in my federal and my state taxes. That was all I had to do that was left. Stopped my taxes, came back a week later, attempted to access it, got in, and they had me recheck everything, look through all the shit that I'd already done. And I'm like, okay, yeah, saving. And everything was correct. And I get to the end of it, and not only in the summary screen that did show the $108 EITC, not only was that gone, but in another screen, it was suddenly only $74. And I'm like, okay, nothing has changed. I haven't changed anything since I left. And I get back on the next day because I couldn't deal with it right then. I get back on the next day and I double check everything. I basically do my taxes 2 more times, just double checking everything. No, $74. It's like I'm hallucinating this $108 and it being on the summary screen. I'm just making all that up. So I compose I just send the taxes off. I'm like, fuck it. It's only a few bucks, I guess, at the end of the day. But I compose an email to Online Taxes, who I went through. And I very concisely in list form explain the situation. And it's concise and it's perfect and nobody could possibly misunderstand it. And this is my complaint. That email is no different than any other email I send when I need help with something. But the people that end up helping you are always dumber than you, and they don't understand the very clear, you knowing that you're going to deal with somebody that can't understand, that has no reading comprehension. You dumb it down for them. And you always get that person anyway. They read the whole thing and they respond in a way that has nothing to do with what you're saying. This lady sends me an email back saying, well, I looked at your taxes. It looks like you sent them off. And no, it shows it $74. That's correct. You're good. That wasn't a fucking question. And it's just not worth it. But does anybody else deal with this kind of thing all the time where you're doing other people's jobs for them or you ask questions that they give you an answer to a different question? Does anybody else deal with this all the time?
Yeah. Anytime I'm engaged with customer service rep, not anytime, but often I'll have a similar experience. I don't have an example. That was stupid of me, but I think what my answer is, I think you just need to use ChatGPT to translate it into Gen Z, because these are probably Gen Z kids. And so you got to just be like,
Yeah.
you know,
You're
my
good.
taxes were whack, bruh. Dead ass. I should have had, 108 bones. No cap. See, I'm learning.
You're doing
There you go.
I wouldn't be able to do that like that.
So next time, translate it into Gen Z, and then send and they'll be like,
even people that are older than me, it's still the same. It's just, and I know that complaint, it sounds so petty, but it's just frustrating sometimes where you have to end up doing other people's jobs for them. It's their job to take care of certain things. And when you try to express it in a way that they should be able to understand, they still don't. And I don't have the energy for it anymore. So often I give up on things that I really rightfully should be taking care of, or should be taken care of by other people. But anyway, I'm just bitching.
Did you ever work fast food when you were younger, Zach, like in high school or something?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that, because I worked at Wendy's in high school for a while, and you'd have people who would come like they've never been there before. They'd stare at the menu for like 5 minutes, holding up the entire line, like when I'm at the cash register. So they'll take 5 minutes looking at the menu to the point where they probably could have read everything and memorized the whole menu, and then they'll order something that's not on there.
Yep.
Like they go into Wendy's, like literally read everything twice, and then ask for like a 7-layer burrito or something. It's like, dude, you know where we are. Do you even know what restaurant you walked into? Taco Bell is next door.
Well, they probably had the munchies, man. They probably were just,
I can confirm that from experience.
But anyway, that's kind of what that story reminded me of.
Yeah. I worked at I was going to say the Arby's, and I don't know why I said it that way, but I worked at Arby's. It was that dude crashed into with his car. That's the one I worked at.
On Redwood Road.
On Redwood Road.
Yeah.
Were you that dude?
I might have been that dude. I crashed into it, and they're like, "How are you going to pay for this?" I was like, "I'll work here, I guess."
The scary thing is that guy just had finished killing somebody and came.
Was that what it was? I thought he
escaped court.
Oh yeah, okay, I was
He
right.
shot and killed a guard.
Yeah.
Way to bring it down, Jason. Way to bring it down.
But I mean, when you've had a long day of escaping the law, what are you hungry for? The meats.
I believe back then the mascot was the oven mitt.
Yeah, you're right. It was.
And I had a friend who hated it so much that he refused to eat at Arby's until they stopped using the oven mitt. So he legitimately didn't go for like 2 years until they moved on to a new ad campaign. And then he went back to Arby's.
Knowing me and knowing John and now hearing that story, you have a lot of weird friends.
I do. Very much so.
Yeah.
All
right.
Well, do you want to, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Yeah.
Are we talking about?
Who wants to go first?
I think you're talking about. What are we talking about?
Show and tell.
Let me see if I can do this one more time.
Okay.
No. God damn it.
It's in and out.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to Show and Tell.
But
Who's next?
I'll go first. Just because my Sesame Street recipes wasn't enough, so I have brought a swordfish to a fist fight. Let's see. So I was thinking, we all make excuses for bad behavior. And what's like one of the worst things you can do, I think, is cheat on someone. And so I found on BuzzFeed the worst excuses for cheating on your significant other. And these apparently are real stories. So I'm not gonna read all of them, but I'll read some of the funny ones. They're all kind of funny. So here's one. It says, he cheated because he thought I needed the trauma for my character development. This is not a joke. He was a poet writer.
Wow.
So this is what they told their significant others when they were caught cheating. Here's another one. He says, you don't like that I walk around barefoot outside in the streets. She doesn't mind. And then this one's like rapid fire. Because I came home in a bad mood, because I was in a state away, because he was drunk. But my personal favorite was, I didn't want to wake you up. So,
count the times.
Apparently they were feeling amorous, didn't want to wake him up, so they went out and got some ass on the side. Here's one. When I confronted him about sleeping with my coworker, his reply was, but she taught me so much. This person said he forgot we were dating. So,
Oh, okay.
Don't forget. This one was awesome. Woman says that he said, I was too busy with the wedding planning that I wasn't giving him enough of my time. Let's see. My phone is being whack. This one might work on me. The other girl brought him a Jimmy John sandwich, so he said he had to pay her back somehow.
Okay, that's valid. Let's be real. Come on.
Yeah, those are pretty good sandwiches.
Yeah, and expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last time I accidentally bought the giant one. I didn't realize what I was buying. I'm like, why is this $40? But it was like 2 feet long, and I ate every inch of it.
You ate the whole thing anyway.
Yeah. Here's one. It says, I don't know how to tell you I want to break up with you.
Good way of doing it.
Oh, let's see. Here's one. The girl had the same name and birthday as me, so he said she reminded him of me.
Okay.
She forced him to take her number, and he only went to the movies with her to tell her he had a girlfriend. So one said that it's because they went to sleep too early. That's why the significant other cheated.
Hmm.
I wonder how many of these actually worked. Or the other person's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We're good.
Well, I did just finish that entire $40 Jimmy John sandwich, so I was tired and I felt, okay, you're right. You're right.
Here's a couple more. Because I didn't want to go bowling. That's why he cheated on her. Most of these are men, by the way. Men have the best excuses for things. This guy said that his girlfriend didn't shave her legs every day. This guy says, on accident.
I tripped. I was walking around naked with an erection and I tripped. Landed there.
This one's pretty creative. He said my head was too small in comparison to his, and he was worried that he'd always have to stand behind me in pictures. That's why he cheated.
Wow.
I'm gonna end on that one, but
I'm gonna use that one.
Moral of the story: first of all, don't cheat on your significant other. Second, if you do, don't use a lame ass excuse like that.
Think of something better than that.
For sure. But there you go. That's my show and tell.
Nice.
Yay.
Zach, you ready?
Sure thing. So I just found a bunch of useless facts because every time I looked something up, okay, first of all, I'm not using ChatGPT ever again. The more I use it, the dumber it becomes. I don't understand it. And I know it's basing it off the user. But anyway, all right. So I did a lot of looking things up today.
Hey, real quick, before you start, did you guys hear about Google Gemini?
No.
Yeah.
Talking to the microphone, boo.
Sorry. Is that better?
Almost.
So Google Gemini.
It's better.
Google Gemini came out, and it's a image video search AI. So you can say like, show me a picture of a bear, and it'll send you pictures of several bears. Well, Google has apologized.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Just what kind of bear are we talking about?
Well, that too, probably. But your favorite kind, Zach.
Yay.
Me. So basically, Google had to apologize because they had made it so it would not show any white people. So if you asked like what a French 18th century French monarch looked like, it would return an image of a black guy in a wig. It's supposed to be historically accurate. And then if you ask for like show me a Latino person, it'll show you like different Latino people. If you asked to show you a white person, it says, I'm sorry, because I don't discriminate by race, is what it would say. But it was really funny. So Google came out, but yeah, there were people like searching up historical like medieval knights, and they were all like black guys in armor. And I'm just saying that's probably, I'm not saying black guys make awesome knights, they probably, be awesome, but back in the medieval times, there weren't any like black crusaders, so it was just kind of interesting how that. So Google actually came out and apologized for that.
Did they explain it, or were they just like, oops?
Well, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but apparently the product manager is like a really into like some of the extreme
representation
and suppressing. He wanted to like make sure that everyone was included except for white people. Anyway, super funny. That's as close as I'll get to talk about politics on
That's
this.
funny.
But it just cracked me up when I saw some of the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And you can cut that if you think it's too triggery.
I think it's fine. I think it's just
like, did you hear yourself last season, Jason?
I'm a kinder, gentler
That's
Jason.
like multiple levels below some of the stuff you got away with last season.
We have an episode called Jason the Walking Human Trigger Warning or something to that effect. I mean, come on.
And there's another one called Jason Gets Us Canceled. So there were at least 2 episodes.
Well, ever since I became
dedicated to your insensitive comments.
Ever since I became Native American, I'm trying to be more sensitive because, let's face it, my people have suffered.
Are we ever gonna like really talk about your race switching that you do? Do you just like this? Yeah, I got nothing. I'm not gonna go anywhere with that.
We'll talk about it some other time. Jason's DNA test. So anyway, I'm sorry. Proceed.
Oh no, you're fine because I can cut everything you've said and make this 25-minute thing. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm totally joking. All right. So random fact number 1, and I looked up all of these to make sure that they're real because, things slip through the cracks. I believe it was Snopes that even said that this one's true. Canadian Bill number 108, created to keep apologies from being used against Canadians who are known for apologizing a lot. The Apology Act of 2009. So, long story short, I mean, I've got the act right here on like some government page of theirs or something. Oh no, it's an org. It's a .org. But regardless, it's real. I could read all the legalese, and I did read some of it, but it's really dry. But it does jive with what the layman terms that they threw in here say. It says right here, the explanatory note was written as a reader's aid to Bill 108 and does not form part of the law, but it does explain it. The bill provides that an apology made by or on behalf of a person in relation to any matter does not constitute an admission of fault or liability by the person, except for the purposes of proceeding under the Provincial Offences Act, and does not affect the insurance coverage available to any person in relation to that matter. The bill also provides that an apology is not admissible in any civil proceeding, administrative proceeding, or arbitration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, we all know the Canadians like to apologize, but they had to make a law about it because they do it so much. And that's amazing.
So what happens if you get like arrested for apologizing? Do you have to apologize?
I don't think you can get arrested for it. I think it's just to keep you safe from, like, when they always tell you don't admit fault. And by apologizing in the United States, when you crash into somebody or they crash into you, by apologizing, you're admitting fault. And because it's just a habit of theirs to say, I'm sorry about everything, this protects them from getting in trouble.
Aboot everything.
Aboot everything and saying you're sorry.
Aboot everything. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
So sorry. Sorry.
But I love my Canadians, so I'm not making fun of them totally, just a little bit. All right. So that's one thing. Anybody ever heard of a growler bear or a pizzly bear?
No.
This is cool. So grizzly bear, polar bear hybrids are real. And they are not only real in a captured setting, but also in the wild. This has happened. In 2006, the occurrence of this hybrid in nature was confirmed by testing the DNA of a unique-looking bear who had been shot near Sachs Harbor, Northwest Territories on Banks Island in the Canadian Arctic. The number of confirmed hybrids has risen to 8, all of them descending from the same female polar bear. So she's got a thing for them grizzlies, if you know what I'm saying. And
once you go grizzly,
it's true. It's true. Possible wild bred polar bear grizzly bear hybrids have been reported and shot in the past, but DNA tests were not available to verify the bear's ancestry. They're also named the growler bear, the pizzly bear, the zebra bear, the grizzlar, or the nanalak, which I believe is probably an indigenous name.
Either that or some kind of like Wendigo,
Right. Let's see here. And I kind of wonder though, like, do you think the grandparents of the pizzly bear or whatever, like, get disgusted looks from the other bears because their offspring kind of prefer the other like multi-species interbreeding stuff? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
I can see that happening.
Yeah,
no, absolutely.
What are your cubs going to look like? They won't be accepted by anyone.
Awesome. Let's see. This is fun. In 2006, also, that was a busy year, but this wasn't in Canada. So anyway, in 2006, an incident unfolded involving Joya Williams, an executive assistant at Coca-Cola, which led to allegations of attempted theft of trade secrets and a surprising collaboration between rival beverage companies Coca-Cola and PepsiCo. Long story short, she was offering PepsiCo Coke's secrets for $1.5 million, and PepsiCo told on her to Coke, and she got arrested and put in jail. I don't remember if it was like 12 years, something like that. It was a while, or 8 years. Here's the thing. It says this quote. Oh, let me go back down. In 2007, Joya Williams pleaded guilty to charges related to the attempted theft of trade secrets, and she was subsequently sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. The collaboration,
Doing a hard time,
right? Over soda. The collaboration between Coca-Cola and PepsiCo in exposing and addressing the incident highlighted the shared commitment to ethical business practices within the competitive beverage industry. To me, that sounds more like collusion, because if they're rivals, I just think they're price fixing everything. If you think about it, have you seen the price of soda lately? A 12-pack is like $9.
That's like twice as much.
Yeah, when it was $4, that was ridiculous, because it used to be, $2 or whatever, and then it went up to 4 something, but then it just doubled in price. So as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't applaud them for what they did. It just shows that they're colluding and violating antitrust laws, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm just a concerned citizen.
It's the Coke Pepsi mafia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't see Shasta doing this shit. Come on. Anyway. All right. All right. We're sponsored by Shasta, by the way. Gonna get us in trouble.
I drink a lot of Shasta now, by the way, because the grocery store that's closest to me has Shasta 12 packs for $4. So
there's no, it's good. I like it.
Black cherry, man.
Hell yeah.
Once you go black cherry.
Once you go grizzly. Hershey's Kisses are named after the kissing sound the deposited chocolate makes as it falls from the machine on the conveyor belt. And true or not, that grosses me the hell out. I don't
gross.
Kiss. That sounds like me going number 2. Like, gross.
Yeah, it's the machine taking a dump.
Yeah. And making a sound. Gross. That's gross. Just imagining like orifice. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway.
You just ruined Hershey Kisses for me. I thought it was like a cute name because you give them to women you're dating, like,
yeah,
here's have a kiss. Yeah, it's a kiss. But no, it's just like, it's just the machine crapping them out.
Now, I'll be honest, I didn't actually totally check that one all the way out, but it did say it in multiple sources to be true, but that doesn't always mean anything. It could have been sensationalized. Regardless, gross.
It is gross.
Yeah.
All right, this one's fun. To leave a party without telling anyone is called, in English, a French exit. Have you guys ever heard that before? No?
No.
I mean, are they like waving the white flag as they walk out?
I don't know. I don't know what if it's just an indicator that it's a rude thing to do, and the English. I mean, when it says English, I believe it's talking about British people more than people that speak English, and so they can they consider the French rude, and so it's a French exit. But in France or in French, it's called partir à l'anglaise or something like that. I don't speak French, and it means to leave like the English. I engage in this behavior, and I lovingly refer to it as Induced du put, which means a bitch move. It's a bitch move. I'll admit it. When I leave a party without talking to anybody, I don't know why.
Oh, I get it. I think a French exit is also called a German entrance.
That belongs here.
Sorry, Klaus.
Yeah, poor Klaus.
Klaus is anyway.
I hope he's back. She. I don't know. Although looking at our analytics, our YouTube analytics, we're skewing like early 20s to late 30s right now on YouTube, which is a little different.
I knew it. My Gen Z language is going to pay off.
Oh,
dead ass.
No cap.
I'm using that wrong, by the
way. All right. There is a company in Japan that has schools that teach you how to be funny. The first one opened in 1982, and about 1,000 students take the course each year. I have obviously still not been accepted. The Lego Group is the world's most powerful brand. There are more Lego minifigures than there are people on Earth, giving way to the fact that were we to wage war with them, we would most certainly lose.
I knew it.
Mm-hmm. The Bagheera Kiplingi spider was discovered in the 1800s and is the only species of spider that has been classified as a vegetarian. It is a type of jumping spider, by the way, and they're so cute. The diet, while most spiders are carnivorous and feed on insects, Bagheera Kiplingi primarily consumes plant material. Their diet includes specialized structures called Beltian bodies, which are small protein-rich nodules found on the leaves of certain acacia plants. And as with, I know, it's adorable. And as with most vegetarians, they cannot refrain from telling you that they are, in fact, vegetarians. Let's see here. In 1957, a recipe for German's chocolate cake appeared as the recipe of the day in the Dallas Morning News. It was created by Mrs. George Clay, a homemaker from Dallas, Texas, and used the baking chocolate introduced in 1853 by American baker Samuel German for the Baker's Chocolate Company. Baker's German's sweet chocolate has no ties with the country of Germany, and after some of the stories I've heard, I'd probably be wary about German baking anyway. I don't want to upset Klaus. All right. The youngest pope in history was Pope Benedict IX, who was possibly only 11 years old at the time of the election. He's
So
also, what's that?
He could molest and be molested at the same time.
Right? He's also the only person to have been the Pope more than once. Some of his least popular policies that have since been repealed were holy water balloon fights, homework absolution, two playground recess breaks per mass. I'm making myself laugh. I'm really proud of this. Anyway, keep going. Going. I'll keep going. Priest immunity idol contests for altar boys. Edible candy rosaries. Changing confession to tattling. And punctuating excommunication by breaking your favorite toy.
Nice.
I love it.
We need more 11-year-olds in charge.
Right?
You just reminded me, I owe Girl Scouts cash that I do not have, and it legit made me have an anxiety attack. I don't know what
you just realized that right now you're remembering it.
Yeah, because I ordered some Girl Scout cookies like a month ago, and I'm like, oh man, they're gonna be here any day, and I don't have any damn cash.
You're like a mafia. You're gonna get hurt.
I'm gonna get hurt. I better go to the ATM tomorrow.
John, if we do this next week and he's not here, we know why.
You know exactly why. They're gonna snap all his fingers, break his knees.
Great Salt Lake.
Those girls don't fuck around, man.
No, they don't.
I can hear what I'm saying it to you right now. Like when they give you another day to get the money, they're like, fuck around and find out, or something, to that effect.
Wow, little Susie. That got dark fast.
All right, John. It's all up to you.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, since it's February, it is Black History Month.
Oh, no.
See, I can hear you guys tensing up. I promise this is not racist or political.
No, if Jason was saying it, my butthole would have puckered, but I trust you.
This is a well-intentioned but poorly executed attempt to honor a Black history icon. I'm going to be paraphrasing, but this headline's from the New York Post from January 15, 2023 by Jesse O'Neill. Woke $10 million MLK penis statue insults Black community, says Coretta Scott King's cousin. Unveiled in Boston in January of 2023, was a massive bronze sculpture titled The Embrace,
I remember.
an artistic interpretation of the classic photo of Dr. Martin Luther King and his wife, Coretta King, hugging after he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. But oddly, the artist decided to put like an abstract spin on it, and he removed the head and torsos from that famous picture. What's left is just 4 disembodied arms tangled around each other. You look at pictures of this, there's hands holding an arm, but like a disembodied, the backside of an arm is just a large cylindrical mass of bronze flesh. And so the cousin of Coretta Scott King, Seneca Scott, commented on that statue saying, the mainstream media was reporting on it like it was all beautiful because they were told they had to say that. But then when it came out, a little boy pointed out, that's a penis. And everyone was like, yo, that's a big old dong, man. So the 43-year-old Oakland, California resident.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
If you had showed that statue to anyone in the hood, they'd have been like, oh, no, absolutely not. He wrote scornfully in Compact Mag, $10 million of taxpayer money were wasted to create a masturbatory metal homage to my legendary family members, one of the all-time great American families. I mean, if you look at this thing, yeah, it's just the artwork was designed by conceptual artist Hank Willis Thomas, who said, when they recognize that all storytelling is an abstraction, all representation is an abstraction. Hopefully, it allows us to be open to more dynamic and complex forms of representation that don't stick us to narrative that oversimplifies a person or their legacy. And I think this work really tries to get to the heart of that. But Seneca Scott was having none of that nonsensical word salad. And it looks like social media agreed. The 22-foot, 65,000-pound statue caused an eruption of derision on social media, with some labeling it as obscene and pornographic looking. While less dirty-minded commenters said it looked like a hand holding a football or a giant vegetable like a gourd or a squash, most pointed out its resemblance to a part of the male anatomy. Seneca Scott continued saying, it looks more like a pair of hands hugging a beefy penis than a special moment shared by the iconic couple. He said, how could anyone fail to see that was a major dick move, unintended, that brings very few, if any, tangible benefits to struggling Black families? He said, so now Boston has a big bronze penis statue that's supposed to represent Black love at its purest and most devotional.
Well, there are some people who might think that is the case.
Yeah. So, oddly enough, sorry, I'm drawing a blank here, but
he's lost looking at the giant penis statue.
Oddly enough, for fans of Dr. King who were disappointed or offended by that monstrosity of a statue, they have some competition. It actually isn't even the worst abstract representation of a iconic civil rights figure that was erected in the U.S. in January of 2023.
Erected.
That distinction would go to the demonic 8-foot-tall gold homage to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which for some reason has ram's horn and tentacle arms.
I think I've seen this one.
A new gold statue that was supposed to pay homage to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's fight for reproductive rights has been called satanic and mocked for its horns and tentacles after it was unveiled in New York City. 8-foot sculpture named Now stands on the courthouse of the Applegate Division building in the Flatiron District, alongside statues of famed lawmakers like Moses, Confucius, and Zoroaster. Unlike the other statues, however, it bears little resemblance to its inspiration. Pakistani-American artist Shazia Sikander 1953, told the New York Times the statue is meant to symbolize a fierce woman and a form of resistance in a space that has historically been dominated by patriarchal representation.
And Cthulhu.
And for some reason, that meant creating braids that were curled and angled backwards like ram's horns and replacing the arms and legs with tentacles.
Like with suckers on them?
Many on social media condemned the design, calling it a satanic eyesore that resembles Medusa as it stands on the historic rooftop. New York Councilman Vicky Palladino was among many on Twitter who believed the statue more closely resembled the Greek monster of legend than the late Ginsburg. And was there any public input whatsoever before a satanic golden Medusa demon with tentacle arms was installed atop a downtown courthouse?
Sadly, yes.
Who thinks this is okay? And how do we go about removing it? Stephen Miller, who served as a senior advisor to former President Trump, summarized it as a visual desecration of the landscape. Radio host Derek Hunter also chimed in on the new statue, writing, "Justice is no longer blind. It's just ugly and stupid." You guys got to put this, along with the MLK penis statue, you got to put a picture of this on our website as well.
Yeah, this is,
when I saw it,
it is bizarre.
It looked like a cursed idol, like that Indiana Jones would find in the ruins of some like long lost civilization.
Yep.
I can totally see that evil like voodoo priest guy from Temple of Doom, like holding this as he tries to like rip your heart out with his hands. You know, Kalima, Kalima. How this is supposed to honor, you know, iconic feminist Ruth Bader Ginsburg is beyond me. I have no idea what ram's horns and tentacle arms are supposed to represent. But
if you look at that Ruth Bader one, do you guys remember the Ray Harryhausen movies, like the Sinbad movies with the stop motion?
Yeah.
That's the kind of creature that comes to life in one of those movies, and you know it's a statue, and then it suddenly turns and its eyes blink and shit. That's exactly what that looks like in one of those movies.
Yeah, this statue is more like an ode to Satanism than it is an honor to Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
That's funny.
However, maybe these statues will become iconic in their own way over time. They brought up the famous Scary Lucy sculpture from 2015. The town of Lucy's hometown of Celeron, New York, decided to hire a local artist to create a lifelike replica of the iconic TV actress Lucille Ball in Lucille Ball Memorial Park. But the artist Dave Poland created a statue that critics and social media users hated so bad they called it Scary Lucy. They compared it to a Walking Dead zombie or actor Steve Buscemi and called it an insult to Lucille Ball. So you got to put this.
Just hurts.
You got to put a picture of Scary Lucy up also, but the mouth is like kind of bared in like a snarl, and it's showing way too much teeth. It looks like the type of thing that would come alive at night and eat your children. Anyway, there was so much negative reaction to the Scary Lucy statue that the artist offered the city that he'll fix it for free, but the city wisely turned them down and decided to go in a different direction. They're like, no, we're good. You've done enough. Anyway, they hired a new artist, a good artist, Carolyn Palmer, create a second Lucy statue that actually resembled the actress in Lucille Ball Memorial Park to replace it. However, like some bad B movies, the Scary Lucy statue was so hilariously awful that it developed its own cult following. And rather than melting it down, townspeople wanted to keep it. So Lucille Ball Memorial Park in Celeron, New York, has two Lucy statues, the good one and the awful one at different parts in the park. So,
oh my gosh,
I'm just looking at it. My question is, did they hire the artist from Fiverr, like for the first statue?
Right?
And I do see the resemblance to Steve Buscemi, and it makes me sad because I like Steve Buscemi. So
Seriously, I don't understand what it is they were going for. I mean, there's nothing that even remotely resembles her at all.
well, like I said, he's probably
Terrifying.
on some like work job board. We'll sculpt statues for money.
And yeah, the Scary Lucy artist Dave Poland says he quit sculpting altogether after all the backlash from his Scary Lucy sculpture.
That's for the best. I think he needs to find his true calling, like working at McDonald's.
Aw.
Not that there's anything wrong with
It
it.
reminds me
my
of those tattoos people get that are so awful. Their friend does it for them. It's exactly
Yeah.
what that tattoo looks like.
Yeah. So yeah, on our Facebook page, put up the MLK arms holding a giant chubby and the demonic Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the Scary Lucy sculpture.
Oh, absolutely, I will.
That's awesome. And thanks, John. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Scary Lucy is going to be burned into my mind. And ironically, fantasies of Steve Buscemi. So
that's okay.
Yeah, the erotic Steve Buscemi. That needs to be a novel or a picture book.
I always think about him putting on that lipstick in that Adam Sandler movie.
Billy Madison, yeah.
There is a weird conspiracy about that. I have to find it. That he's actually the serial killer in that Con Air movie. So yeah, I'll have to find the TikTok, but basically, he's got that list of people he's going to kill, and he doesn't kill Billy Madison because he apologizes, but then he gets arrested, and so he's the same guy on Con Air.
That's clever.
Yeah, and then it changed it to one other movie, and I can't remember what it was. So I'll have to find it, but it was super clever, almost as good as the Jar Jar, who's a Sith Lord conspiracy. So
yeah, I love that one. That's really
I love that.
Yeah, it's not far fetched.
And I think it would have made the prequel trilogies even that much better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Should have brought him back for the sequel trilogies. It couldn't have gotten any worse than it was. So,
No.
Anyway.
All right.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow. Did you send me another video? What's going on over here? Do I want to click that? It says Jason naked something. What?
That's for your eyes only.
Oh, okay.
No, that's the I'm too old for this shit video clip that I want you
perfect.
to. Yeah. So.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, gentlemen, it's been real and always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And yeah. Tune in next time for more strange news, weird statues, and possibly on-air orgasms. So.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot to promise, but all right. Well, dream of me. Love you guys.
All right.
See you later.
All right.
Bye.